We are Team MAW Capital, and today we are making a bullish pitch on Scancom PLC, which trades under the ticker Mtn Ghana, and our recommendation is a strong buy. My name is Maxwell Dankwa, and with me are
Albert Bruni
and Wilson Almar.
Okay. So MTN, when we talk about MTN, basically the layman would think about just telco, mobile internet service, or mobile service in general. But MTN is so much more. It's a telecom company which was founded in 1996, and it IPO'd somewhere in 2018, and it got listed on the GSE that same year. Its initial offering price was 75 pesos, and its IPO attained a benchmark success of beyond 30% being subscribed. Currently, it sits number 2 by way of market cap, playing around the region of 16 billion in valuation, which is second highest on the GSE. So what makes MTN such a good business offering to any investor? Its investment or its play in cutting-edge internet service, that's one. Digital business solutions is recently ventured into a space where you can see that it's venturing towards forming something like an ecosystem of sorts in the form of a super app, that's Ayoba, being a one-stop shop for digital solutions all over, and also its foray into the fintech space. And you can see that with mobile money. And finally, it's doubling down on investment by way of technological infrastructure, and that confers upon it its ubiquitous nature to be the broadest network coverage offered by any network in the country.
Now we believe MTN is a sleeping giant. Here is why. So this over here on your screen is a price trend of MTN's share price since its inception on GSE from 2018 all the way to 2021 currently, and that was from 75 pesos to 132 pesos. Now all this indicates a bullish rally with more gains to be realized. Now MTN, with the current year to date of 106.25%, MTN has a stock. With a year-to-date returns of 106.25%, MTN has a stock beta of 1.2981, indicating a strong positive correlation with GSE's composite index of about 3,000.63. And with MTN's current price of 162 pesos, with the free cash flow to equity model valuation, we pegged the fair value at 275 pesos, given its undervaluation of 52.1%. MTN has a return on equity of 51.3% and a dividend yield of 2.3%. Now let's look at MTN's financial health. Okay, so right now we believe MTN is sacrificing today for tomorrow. Why is that? In the past 25 years, MTN has spent over $6 billion in capex investments alone. And just 2021, they've spent over $200 million in capex investments, making it the highest investment in a single calendar year within the past decade. MTN has built over 4,100 cell sites within the past 20 years, resulting in 73% and 98% nationwide coverage with 4G, N2, and 3G respectively. Now, all this put together, analysts forecast MTN's earnings growth to be 20.5% per annum. Now, with the financial health, over here on your screen, there's a chart, a 5-year summary of MTN's total revenue and operating profits from 2016 to 2021 to 2020. With 2016, you see MTN's total revenue of 2.77 billion Ghana cedis, all the way to 2020's 6.033 billion Ghana cedis, and this is actually an impressive run. MTN has an earnings per share of 15 pesos, a net profit margin of 24.5%, with a 1.2 percentage point increase as against the previous quarter, with a PE ratio of 9% and a debt to equity ratio of 17.3%, which is actually satisfactory, given the fact that MTN has covered it with its operating cash flow by a 441.5% margin. Now, with the earnings per share over here, this chart actually gives you a 5-year summary with a 2-year projection from 2016 to 2022. Now, from 2022's 0.113 Ghana cedis, it's expected to move to 0.133 and 0.168 in the subsequent years, 2021 and 2022. Now, let's take a look at the unique business model.
Okay, so you've seen the figures. Now, let's try and sell you on the fundamentals of it. The business model of MTN is unparalleled in any such space, and they are being supercharged by this strategy called Bright Strategy, which focuses on best customer experience, returns, and efficiency focus on a corporate level, igniting commercial performance, growth through data and digitalization, and that was propelled with the onset of COVID. Then we have technology excellence, where they want to be at the forefront of any emerging technology or industry, and they are doing so well. And layered upon that, we have the Ambition 2025. So this one is unique. It's like a long-term goal to try and navigate the ever-changing and volatile digital landscape. MTN intends to do that by building the largest and most valuable platforms, and is well on its way to achieving that. Driving industry-leading connectivity operations. As you can see, we've already had announcements about they trying to make a foray into 5G, which is still a very nascent industry, and creating shared value. And finally, accelerating portfolio transformation. So MTN, the key drivers of all what I've said with respect to our Ambition 2025 are fintech solutions, mobile money, very wide industry with a huge potential upside. Digital services like Ayoba, as I've earlier stated, is like a super app, one-stop shop for everything. Enterprise services, MTN business solution, trying to play to the corporate base. Network as a service, API marketplace, which looks to bring together innovators in software development and to merge them with, or to interface them with their fintech platforms.
Onto market dynamics. Using Porter's 5-force analysis, we assess how MTN was faring in the market. First being competition. Obviously, MTN is not the only existing company in the space. However, they've laid down structures to put them ahead of their peers, giving them leading to over 57% share of the market. Secondly, potential of new entrants. This is highly unlikely due to the high capital requirement needed to start a telecom company. Thirdly, the power of suppliers. There's little supplier bargaining power owing to MTN's significant market power. Regarding the power of customers, many people argue that MTN has monopolized the market, but this is a good deal for an investor simply because of the revenue this is going to generate. MTN has given its customers unmatched services that they are unable to choose any other alternative to rely on. Other alternative service to rely on. Finally, the threat of substitute products. MTN offers a wide range of products. They are not just only a telecom company, but also they offer their customers a wide range of services like financial tech solutions and digital solutions, among others. MTN is well ahead of its peers when it comes to this. Simply, this is what puts MTN ahead of its competitors in the industry. Onto the SWOT analysis. The strength of MTN is underpinned on its strong financial position and having the largest market share of over 57%. Its weakness, basically, regulation, compliance, and fiber cable cuts. However, this is being worked around the clock to reduce the frequency of occurrence. The opportunity here is that there's an increasing market demand. This was evident last year when COVID came. Lastly, the threats. There are macroeconomic factors like hyperinflation and taxes. And lastly, great stability.
So now we take a look at the Snowflake analysis. This chart indicates that MTN has a strong historical performance, given up to its strong valuation on the stock market as over 16 billion as the second highest market cap company on the GSE. We've already seen in the chart that MTN has a strong financial health, and MTN has a consistent dividend payout ratio. And all this projected by analysts, MTN is expected to hit a 17.8% growth rate per annum in the next 15 years. MTN is also projected to hit earnings growth rate about 20.5%, which is actually bigger than the savings rate. So if you want to put your money in savings instead of putting into MTN, it's not advisable. Look at the margins. And also the inflation rate is 9.28, which is actually lower by the earnings growth rate. All that we have said is attributable to incredible management, including good investments made. Now, leading MTN's charts, awakening the telco giant, is the mobile money, the fintech solution. Mobile money was prospected to reach $1 trillion Ghana cedi transactional value by the Honorable Financial Minister, Kenneth Uriatha.
And if all this didn't sell you on why MTN is a strong buy and why it's basically a giant, a sleeping giant, you should take a look at the video that we're about to play.
There are many ways to get around, but there's only one way to pay.
Momo?
So many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to pay.
Momo?
Yes. There's so many you can run.
Okay, so for the sake of time, yes, that basically sums up the culture of MTN. If you are buying MTN, which is bullish in the long term, you are buying a culture, a readiness to set itself for the future, and basically a steady investment for anyone with any investing strategy in mind. We are Team MAW Capital, and our recommendation is a strong buy for MTN Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you.